Hi everybody, welcome to FitNCalm's Yogic Living webinar. So today we'll be having a very special webinar on Ayurvedic fasting. Can we all turn our cameras on? People are still joining because we usually start around 4. Okay, good. Nice to see many of you here. Hi Dr. Surya. Hi Pratibha, Lalita, Soni, Arusa. Welcome you all. So we're still waiting for more people who would be joining in. Some of them are joining us on YouTube as well. So those who are watching on YouTube, hello to you as well. And I am personally very excited for this session. I think for all our sessions, I am also one of the most excited people as well, along with the other participants. So this webinar is going to be on Ayurvedic fasting as Navratri is approaching, how to detox our body, our mind. We'll be learning all of these things today from a special Ayurveda expert. So we have Dr. Amrita with us. She's an Ayurvedic doctor. I'll just spotlight her. So this is Dr. Amrita. Welcome, Dr. Amrita. She's been an Ayurveda, doctor for the past 7 years. She's been practicing. She graduated from the Shri College of Ayurvedic Science and Research, and she's been also trained in Marma Chikitsa and Meru Chikitsa. So she's conducted numerous workshops on Panchakarma, and she has treated a lot of ailments using these Ayurvedic principles. She believes that it's really important to understand the science and the principles behind these techniques so we can enhance and increase their benefits for good health. So that's what we are all here about, not just the body, but the mind as well. And Ayurveda is perfect for that. So Dr. Amrita, we would really love for you to enlighten us on what to do. What is Ayurvedic fasting? How do we go about it? So please let us know.
So definitely. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Amrita. My name is Amrita. And fasting on the whole is something I think everyone always thinks that, we should do it and it's good for the body. And to be honest, I also found the entire task of fasting quite daunting because it's not easy to go without food because food is something we love. Food is something we're so used to having, and just being without it itself already puts us on I can't do it. But there are a lot of different kinds of fasting, and in Ayurveda what fasting is anything that makes the body lighter is the Ayurvedic definition of the word fasting. So there are different kinds of fasting, and interestingly, even Panchakarma happens to be a kind of fasting because over there also you're detoxifying the body, making it lighter. So Panchakarma also comes in as a type of fasting. Can I put a PPT on?
You'll be able to share. I've made you the co-host.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Can everyone see this?
Yes, we can see.
All right. So fasting 101. And I actually wanted to ask everyone, what do they think fasting will do to the body? What do you think fasting does? What goes on in your head when you think of fasting? Anything? Any answers? You can unmute yourselves, right? I mean, they can unmute themselves, put it on chat or anything.
Put it on chat.
Okay.
We are getting the answers: weight loss, lose weight, better awareness, detox, purify the body and soul.
Wow, that is very nice. I really like those answers.
Cell rejuvenation, detoxification, cleansing, glowing skin.
Wow. I think you guys are pretty much nailing what fasting does over here. I think one of the main things that fasting does is definitely detoxification. because essentially fasting makes the body go through finding what and all accumulated toxins are there in the corners, and then also removing them. A lot of toxins actually sit in the fat cells of our body. So what happens is when we fast, our body is used, our body, when we normally eat, our body stores glycogen, which is mainly used for energy. So when we fast, our body is not getting that glycogen. So then it uses its fat reserves, which have those small toxins here and there, and they also dissolve and leave the body. Right. Anyway, I thought I'd show this. There are a lot of benefits of fasting. What you need to know is, think maybe uh, it okay, again, I think everyone knows the concept of fasting. You're not eating anything, or you may be having just a few fluids here and there, some fruits here and there, dry fruits, etc. You're fasting as in you're not having a full meal. So it stimulates your brain function. It helps in fat metabolism. Like I said, glycogen is not being produced, so fat is being metabolized instead. It improves your heart function because your heart doesn't have to pump extra to digest your food, which is in the stomach. It's hence pumping more blood to the parts that actually need healing, um, uh, need more oxygen, etc. It boosts the immune system. Again, all of these rejuvenative, repairing work happens more when you are fasting. Also, I would like to add over here that weight loss should be taken as a plus point over here, not as the goal of fasting, because fasting is, it's doing the entire process of detoxing, cleansing, raising your immunity, reducing cancer, I mean, preventing cancer from happening, building up your energy, your appetite, all of those things. And weight loss is an added benefit, or it's like, again, like I said, a plus point, or like it just will happen, can happen, but that should not be your goal. You should not be thinking, oh, I'm fasting so that I lose weight. You're going to be fasting for other reasons. So to add on, there's something called as Pitta. I'm sure a lot of people would have heard of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, right? So does everyone know what Vata, Pitta, and Kapha mean?
We've been having Ayurveda sessions, so most of them are aware, but you can just tell it in a brief line because just few of them might be totally new to the terms.
Sure. Just give me 1 second.
Can we all turn our videos also on? It's also nice for the person who's taken out so much time to tell us from their schedule to see our faces and interact as well.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Hi, it's so nice to see faces.
Yes.
Hi. So, in the body, we have three doshas, namely Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Vata is to do with all these chemical reactions that happen in your body, be it all these signals, impulses, sense, anything that requires movement has Vata in it. So, be it food going down to your stomach, or your breathing, or anything that requires movement is to do with Vata. Pitta, on the other hand, think of it as an engine, combustion. So, wherever fire is there, be it digestion, your sight, blood movement, the warmth in your body, your skin's color, um, even the impulses moving around in your brain are to do with Pitta. I'll put it this way, maybe someone who can grasp knowledge very fast, very easily, has a lot of Pitta in them because their brain is very active. And Kapha is to do with your strength, stability, immunity, also sleep. So all of these three doshas need to balance themselves, and that's when you are considered to be a healthy person. Um, Of course, a lot. It's very rare to find someone where all three doshas are balanced, and so when it comes to pitta over here in fasting, pitta is very much present in our stomach. It's called samana. Oh, sorry, not samana. Uh, it's called pitta, and it basically helps in the digestion of our food and sending it to the different correct places like our liver, um, kidneys, etc. So when you fast, what happens is that pitta gets like a boost where it can do its normal job. It doesn't, I'll put it this way, when we eat food, a lot of it happens to be acidic. So when we are not eating food, when we are fasting, our body has a chance to get more alkaline. So when our body is more alkaline, the pitta starts to work better. It can be more strong, it can be more healthy. It's not working in the wrong way. Like it's not making food rotten or digesting it in the wrong way. So when we are fasting, pitta will affect when our pitta gets regenerated, places like our skin, our brain, our stomach, the way we sweat, the smell that comes from sweat, the body odor, our blood, our eyes, everything starts to get a regeneration, starts behaving more healthy. You start being able to digest better. You start sweating. Your sweat is not, you know, uh, too much, or it doesn't make you feel all oily, and your liver, bladder, spleen, kidneys, all of them get a boost. They start to work better. Your blood becomes more healthy, less with doshas. When it has pitta, a lot of aggravated pitta, your blood tends to become more warm. You start to feel burn, there's just a lot of heat in your body. So when pitta becomes normal, your circulation becomes much better overall. So hence, wherever blood goes, everything else also becomes okay. Any questions so far? Has everyone understood what I'm saying? I can't hear anyone.
Write it in the chat box if we've understood everything.
Oh, all right. Okay, great. So
Questions end most.
over here in this intermittent fast, if anyone is seeing this ketone bodies repetitively, that basically is a product of fat metabolism. So they also provide ATP energy, and it's a good sign, where obviously having too many ketone bodies can result in something called ketoacidosis. But this over here, we're doing fasting a few times, here in intermittent fasting, or maybe during Navratri, just fasting for a specific amount of time, and then eating healthy. This is a very good thing for your body to metabolize its fat and help you um, in so many things like uh, boosting your liver, insulin sensitivity, better functioning of the body, and reducing inflammation in the body, etc. Uh, so basically, a, an unhealthy gut becomes a happy and healthy gut. That is. I wanted to basically also mention something. See, everyone cannot undergo fasting. There are different people who have different kinds of appetites, different kinds of metabolism. So you can't expect everyone to fast the same way, right? So you need to understand what kind of an appetite you have, what kind of a metabolism you have, and then accordingly go through fasting. So over here, like I said, there are three doshas. So most people have the predominance of a certain dosha. When they have vata predominant in their body, they have something called as vishamagni, where sometimes the appetite can be high, sometimes it can be low. When they have pitta predominance, they have something called as tikshna agni, which is very a big voracious appetite. They need food more often, or maybe a larger quantity than other people. When uh, a person has a healthy amount of kapha, or balanced dosha, then they have samagni, which is a good appetite, good digestion. It is balanced. So for three dosha, people who have all the three doshas working together, it is samagni, which is great. When there is an excess of kapha, what happens is, or when there's a person is kapha predominant, there we have mandagni, which is a lower appetite, lesser metabolism. So they can maybe go without food for a long time, not really feel hungry because their body metabolizes their food slower. So, based on what your appetite is like, again over here, I'm saying, see that we all are not just our body, we are our minds as well. There are many times when we have cravings, and that itself makes us feel hungry. So when I'm talking about your appetite, I'm talking about your body's signals. When do you actually feel hungry on the inside? You need to really recognize that, maybe notice a pattern, see how you're feeling hungry, when you're feeling hungry, and then observe, and so then you understand what your body needs, right? So when someone has samagni, they can easily go through fasting. Vishamagni, again, um, it's best that they again keep sight of when they feel hungry, and then maybe keep themselves hydrated, have something light if they feel very hungry, like a fruit or dry fruit or something like that. Water, keep themselves hydrated. Tikshnagni, of course, I would say it's they need to again notice their body, but um it would be good to do fasting as much as they can. They need to, I guess, again, if they feel hungry, if they feel that they can't take it, to break the fast, right? And for Mandagni people, again, as you feel, I think they definitely can go for fasting. So I came across this. The things that are important when you are fasting, before you need to keep in mind, is that before you go and fast, it's important to keep your mind in a state where it you don't want to be you don't want to do the fast with conflict in your mind, right? In the sense like, oh yeah, bhook lagegi, yeah, I might feel hungry later, yeah, ye karna, and all these thoughts in your head. It's best to be calm, peaceful, prepared about this, and with your surroundings as well. If That's why during Navratri fasting is good, because you are already in that state where you're praying, you're doing pujas, you're cleansing, you're detoxing, and your mind is already spiritually inclined. So being rested, prepared, keeping your surroundings peaceful and calm, and bathing, of course. People, you need to take bath, is important, and those kind of things. And of course, start and stop with water. And when you have water, it's important to not just gulp it, it's to have it slowly, let it swirl around in your mouth and then let it go down. So these kind of practices, so that way what happens is the water really stays in your digestive system and doesn't just go directly down. And another thing that is important, you can't just fast and lie down on the bed. You need to be a little occupied and busy when you do that. That way your mind is already thinking about what it is doing and not about food. you know And another thing, the last thing and not the least important, is to listen to your body's signals. If your body is feeling tired, sick, that it needs something, then listen to it. Don't just say, no, I'm going to fast because I've decided to fast from this time to this time. It's important to listen, right? Another one here. If these are all very important things. You don't break your fast or don't have these things before or after, because when you have junk food, there. Am I audible? Yeah, okay. You always feel that need to, I want to have a little more. I want to have this. So maybe after my fast, I'll definitely have this kind of thing. So maybe I would say, when you're preparing, this is what I meant by preparing yourself. It's you don't have these kind of things like junk food, food which is hard to digest, like maybe curd rice or you know biryani or pulao or something. It's maybe not, yeah, fried rice or whatever. Those things are a little hard to digest. Heavy food, meat, dairy products, aerated beverages. When I mention temptations and addictions over here, I'm talking about things like alcohol or foods that we really love to eat, maybe chips, bakery items, stuff like that. Definitely, lying down on the bed is not really you fasting. It's best when you're fasting is that your mind, since your body is already going through a detox, why not put your mind also through a detox? You know, simply lying down on the bed is just you lazing around, and your body is not going to be working at that time to remove, because you're not really using up any energy when you're lying down. You just, so when you're doing some work, your body is expending energy from the fat cells in you. So it's best to be doing a little bit of work and not just lying down on the bed, but definitely not too much, right? Like things like cardio, aerobics, zumba, whatever, those things are going to be burning a lot of fat, but it doesn't mean that you should be doing that, because it's not easy for your body to just go from one side drastically to the other side. So you need to go slowly, right? Do a little bit, see how you're feeling. Another important thing is, after you fast, it's important to not be feasting. Go back to light food, right? Have juices. I'll talk about that later. People who are pregnant, lactating, too old, too young, who are sick, or they have some form of illness, I would say it's best that you don't do it. If you really feel like doing it, I would say definitely talk to your doctor about the medications you're taking, what you're going through, how you feel, and then get the necessary advice. Don't just think you can do it because you've done it before or anything. I mean, it's important to get professional advice before you decide to fast. Again, the last point: avoiding arguments or fights, because you don't want to be having chaos, or you don't want to be having conflict in your mind when you go through fasting, because your mind affects your stomach. I'm sure everyone knows over here that maybe when you're angry or when you're sad or confused, do you really feel hungry at all? Because your body is sending nerves, I mean, impulses all over the body, right? And you're not focusing on healing at that time. You're not focusing on rejuvenation or detoxing. You're honestly, if you're angry, usually what happens is acidity when you're fasting and you're angry. Acid tends to build up inside, and you get gastritis, etc. So it's important to avoid conflicts before you fast and after you fast also. Anyway, um, these are some contraindications. So obviously, like women who are, I'm sorry, women who are pregnant or lactating, people who have kidney disorders, abnormal sodium and potassium levels, high eye pressure during chemotherapy, if you're on medications like insulin, etc., if you have thyroid issues, if you're severely underweight, sick, or you've just undergone surgery, if you're mentally agitated, stressed, I would say please avoid it. Don't do it. If you really want to, definitely take professional advice. All right. And then we come to, yeah, it's important for you to start your fast with, start your fast. We have a little bit of water so that whatever is there just starts to go out, and then you're on your fast. You're doing spiritual practices, keeping yourself occupied. It's good to have a massage. That way, circulation is enhanced throughout the body, and uh, your body also relaxes. Right, your muscles relax, circulation goes to all your muscles, And if you ever feel signs, that I'm hungry or I'm tired, I'm feeling dizzy, something like that, don't hesitate to break your fast. All right. Um, so when you break your fast, you thank your body and your mind. You sip water, swallow it around, before swallowing. Chew on a few dry fruits, just a few, and then after some time, have some fresh fruits, coconut water, some protein, form of nuts and seeds. So that also helps in the repair part of the body. And then have light food, you know, things like soup, khichdi, dalia, something like that. And definitely avoid overeating, because up though my body is ravenous, I can digest anything, so I can definitely have this. Your body is going to learn. It's still in its cleansing mode, so you don't want to just ruin that by putting in extra food. It's just going to go back to how it was before. So it's important to again keep maintain that fire, that good pitta in your body, maintain that good pitta, and then you will lose even more. I mean, you will gain even more benefits and then hence lose more fat. If that, I mean, that is the goal. And like that was the first answer that I got. So definitely it'll help in losing even more weight, fat, metabolism, etc. You know? Definitely. And yes, eat slowly, chew well. So when I'm saying, again, when I said avoid overeating, I also meant learn to understand when your body is actually feeling hungry, when it's not just the mind, right? Many times, like I'll put it this way: my grandparents and so on, they have these times. This time we need to eat. This time we need to have breakfast. This time we need to sleep. So learn to listen to when your body is actually feeling hungry, and not the mind thinking, "Oh, I need to eat now." Right? And when you're hungry, you need to eat. So that kind of thing. And then eat slowly and chew well, and you will bloom healthily. Right? So that was about it.
Dr. Amrita, can you tell us people who are like fasting for the very first time and they want to start, like, let's say tomorrow, Navratri is starting. So for the remaining days, how do they go about it?
Well, it depends on what kind of fasting they are they want to do. See, a lot of people, I don't think, can do the entire thing being off um, water and food.
So if
I would
not,
maybe
like starting for the very first time, if
I
people,
would suggest something like a fruit juice kind of fast where they do keep themselves hydrated and have some fluids which definitely give easy nutrition and help in cleansing. Fruit juices, like in like lemon water, vegetable juices like tomato, capsicum, leaves. You can add things like spinach, celery, cucumber, even fruit juices, whatever the person likes. Those things are good. And again, like I said, when we have it with water, we swirl it around nicely and then let it go slowly. So, not having too much, having very little when they feel like, oh, I'm hungry or something, having something like that. So, that will hence, tell the stomach, okay, I have something inside, that kind of a thing. So, when you really feel like fasting, definitely this I think is probably the easiest thing to do. When you're having simple sugars, not too heavy, and at a very little, a very less quantity. Those things when you feel hungry only, not just because hey it's there so let me have. When you feel hungry, that so that I think would help a lot.
thank you. So we'll take up
Was
the questions. Before that, we'll do a short meditation.
sure.
Usually do this every time. So I'm sure people have been asking questions in the comments as well. So we'll take up those as well just right after the meditation. So let's meditate a little bit. Could you stop the screen share, Dr. Amita?
So, yes, I will. Done.
Okay. So let's sit tall. Let's keep a smile on our face. Let's keep the shoulders relaxed. You can close your eyes if you feel like. Take a deep breath in and breathe out totally. One more breath in. This time hold the breath and through the mouth exhale. One more time, inhale through the nose. Hold the breath through the mouth with a ha sound, exhale. Last time we'll do this. Inhale through the nose. Hold the breath, tense the body. And with a ha sound, exhale through the mouth. Let the body relax. Just notice the body right this moment. Whether your body is feeling at ease or not, noticing how the body is feeling right now. Notice where your body is touching the ground, the chair, wherever you are sitting, noticing where you are touching the ground. One more joyful breath in and a joyful exhale. Relax your feet, relax the legs, the pelvis, relaxing the abdomen, chest. Relax all the muscles in your back. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, relax a little bit more. Relax the shoulders and arms. Notice the palms. If they are facing down, you can let them face the ceiling. One more breath in. And exhale. Relax the muscles in the neck, becoming aware of the face and relaxing each and every muscle in the face. Relax your chin, your lips, let them have a big smile. See if your lips can touch the ears. Relax the cheeks, the eyebrows. Relax the forehead, the top of the head, the back of the head. Relax your eyes. Notice if your eyeballs are totally still or if they are moving. Let there be a gentle joy in the face. One more breath in. And exhale completely. Another breath in. And as you exhale, let the body relax a little bit more. If there's any stiffness, any tension in any part of the body, just let it out with the breath. Notice the temperature of the air that is going in, and notice the temperature as it goes out. The incoming air is a little bit cooler, and the outgoing air is a little bit warmer. Becoming aware of this, take another breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your mind, noticing if the mind is right now with the body and breath, or if the mind is running on its own. Just observing what is happening in the mind right this moment. Bringing the mind back to the breath. Take one more breath in and let go. The body is like the wick of a candle, and the mind is like a glow that's surrounding the body. Just feel your mind wrapped around the entire body. Take another breath in and exhale. This moment, let us have gratitude for all that we have in our lives, for this body, for the breath, being grateful to the Mother Divine for giving all that we have been given. Feeling complete, feeling that love within. Just repose in yourself. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. feeling that completeness within. Rest and relax within yourself. Take another joyful breath in. And let go. Become aware of the breath, the cool incoming air, and the warm outgoing air. Become aware of this beautiful body. Once more, feeling gratitude for this body and taking a sankalpa, an intention to take care of this body. Take one more breath in and exhale. Become aware of the surroundings. Gently bring the palms in front of the heart. Let's keep the eyes closed. Chant Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Take a breath in. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Praying for the peace and well-being of everyone on this planet. Taking your own time. Whenever you feel complete, you may open your eyes. How is everyone feeling? Good. Now, along with the body, it's also a very good idea to take care of the mind as well. Little bit of meditation, especially during Navratri, is a very good idea. So we'll take up the questions. So we had gotten a few questions in between earlier. One was, how do you define intermittent fasting? You're on mute, Dr. Amrita.
I just realized. Intermittent fasting basically means where there are periods of fasting and eating. It's just spaced out where you eat for some time and then you don't eat. Maybe a few days I eat. Every week I fast. Something like that, where there is some time of eating, some time of fasting, where you basically fast regularly, where there are spaces of fasting and there are times of eating as well. It's just intermittent fasting. And again, there's no specific way of intermittent fasting. It's totally up to you, however you want to fast. If you want to have fruits in between, if you want to have juices in between, if you want to have nothing in between, however you go about it, intermittent just basically means that there is some time of eating, some time of fasting. Yeah.
And another question, should we have milk during fasting?
Honestly, I would say no. Milk, okay, first I would go through what Ayurveda says about milk, and then we'll go on to what milk is like now. So, right, in Ayurveda, milk is supposed to be, yes, very nutritious, having a lot of nutrients. And honest, cow's milk is said to be closest to mother's milk. And then when you delve deeper into this, you see that they've specified that the cows need to be cows that are living free. You know, they're not reared, they're not in farms. You know, so cows which are eating free, you know, stuff that's grass in the farms, living in nature, those kind of cows, those that kind of milk should be had. And when you have a lot of milk, what happens is, and especially for people like us we are fit, we're not sick. Milk is you when you really need to grow, like children need milk to grow. We're already grown ups, we don't really need milk for the nutritional growth purposes. You know, milk is supposed to be given to children so that they grow healthy and they grow bones, they're the muscle, height, weight, all of that. So adults don't really need milk. So um, again, now coming to the modern side, we know where we get our milk from, right? Cows, I don't think are reared healthily, and they're injected with hormones and antibiotics and things like that. So what happens is, and again, another very important thing, there's the A1, A2 milk difference. A1 milk, which is from Jersey cows, is not good for our body. It sits and does not digest. A2 milk, on the other hand, is from Desi cows, which is really good. It has that A2 protein. You can look it up whenever you're free. A2 milk is much easier to digest and good for digestion. So if you really want to have milk, have a little bit, A2 milk, warm, whatever you feel like, and have it along with things like turmeric, etc. So thereby it'll increase your immunity and uh, help in balancing the doshas. See, when in Ayurveda it's said that when you have milk, it will help in cooling the body, giving you nutrition, but will also increase kapha. So that's why when I say increase kapha, it doesn't just mean putting on weight. It also means making the body a little slow, a little sluggish, because it is a little heavy to digest, right? And it's also kind of laxative. I'm sure you have a lot of motion when you have milk. So maybe add along with it something, or what would be best is actually having buttermilk, because that has good lactobacillus for your gut. It aids digestion and it is cooling for your body as well. So instead of milk, um, buttermilk would be good. If you really want to have milk, make sure it's A2 milk. Make sure it's not much. Make sure you add something to it. Definitely not coffee and tea.
Aditya is asking, what about ghee?
Uh, Ghee also happens to be a dairy product, and when you're saying having ghee, I how are you going to be having ghee when you're fasting? I mean, small question. When I say when you're fasting, I don't think people really will be wanting ghee. Maybe when you break your fast, when you have a few dry fruits, whatever fruits, and then you go back to your simple meals, definitely add some ghee. It's fine. Um, it's totally okay. But during fasting, I don't think anyone has ghee. But was that your question, ghee during fasting or ghee in general?
I think this one would probably be general because you mentioned about milk. So a doctor
Again,
talked about this in detail when we had our PCOD thing. So if you are
uh,
here, Aditya, you can go check that out. The natural ways to treat PCOD. We talked a lot about milk and milk products, soya, all these things that day. So you can check.
Uh, the thing about ghee is, again, there are two ways of making ghee, and I think this needs to be mentioned. See, a lot of people, what they do is they just melt butter, and that melts and becomes what is known as ghee. But the traditional way of making it, where it actually has health benefits for your body, is to make it out of curd. The butter, that when you heat milk, that malai thing that forms on top, you ferment it by adding a little bit of curd to it, and then that butter is what you need to heat to make the actual ghee that has medicinal values, that is light and good for your body, right? So definitely when you're having ghee, make sure you make it the right way, otherwise you're just having butterfat, which is not really ghee. So yeah.
And there's a question on juice fasting. So
Mhm.
I want to go on fasting. What should I do? And few recipes, if for simple things that can be there for juices.
See, any juice, whatever you feel like having, whatever works for you, whatever. Okay, I would put it this way. See, if I was to go on a juice fast, I would pick the different things that I like to have. Like, if I like pineapples, I will have pineapple juice. My mother happens to love tomato, celery, and cucumber, so she will make a juice like that. And what is important is, if you feel like, okay, this one thing isn't enough, I want multiple things, so make multiple juices. Have lemon water, have coconut water, grape juice, watermelon juice. There's so many things. Again, what is seasonal? Whatever is available to you at that time. If you feel like mixing it up, go ahead, make a mix of it. But again, only as much as your body feels is necessary. Not because, oh, it's there, I want to finish it. So, go slowly, nicely, let it swell in your mouth and let it go down. Whatever juices you feel like. One important thing is to not mix fruits and vegetables. That is important. And don't add sugars, etc., to your juice. We keep it as natural as possible. If you really want something, maybe something like an organic honey or maybe some organic jaggery, very little, not too much. Yeah.
We have a question from our YouTube viewers. Um, can Vata Prakriti people have raw salads during fasting?
They definitely can. They definitely can. Again, in your salad, I would say please don't put salt. Add, maybe you can add avocado dressing, any other dressings, maybe pepper, adding oregano is fine. Whatever dressing, but no salt to it. And it's good to you can add leaves to it as well, add nuts, those kind of things. But again, light quantity in between it.
That's it. Do we have any more questions? Anyone here wants to ask any questions? For Pitta Prakriti people, if they have to fast, any tips on maintaining the fast?
I think when it comes to pitta, what does happen is, our mind does get a little too ahead of us, and we are so, um, I'm not gonna say aggressive. It just it's in there, So that I need to eat. So what would really help is keeping your breath, noticing your breath during that time, and taking deep breaths whenever you feel that, okay, am going to spiral into wanting to eat and it's really building up. If you really feel like eating, go ahead, have something, have some juice, have some water, whatever you feel like. And again, slowly, let it go down. uh, what would really help though in pitta, I feel, is definitely meditation, breathing, noticing, maybe keeping yourself occupied. uh, Things like, definitely, yeah, that would help. Also, buttermilk, definitely having buttermilk will help for pitta people.
For Pitta people, I'm also Pitta. Usually, like for me, I find it very difficult to fast, like a full fast, water fast. I can't even imagine. So
Mm.
I go on fruits and light veggies, juices, kind of a thing. And sometimes I have milk also if I'm feeling very very hungry. That gets me cranky. So is there a way of like a kind of thing you can manage for pitta? What would be advised, like a general fit person, not someone with any health issues?
Well, again, the thing is, you can definitely go on just having fruits or maybe having juices in between, salads as well. Whatever you feel works for you at that time. Again, here you need to again notice the difference between your mind and your stomach. If it's your mind signaling something or if it's your body signaling something. Usually, what happens is, we have some cravings for some salty thing or some sweet thing. So that's when you notice what you really need. When you want something sweet, it means you want some carbs. So having a fruit would really help. If you want something salty, you need minerals. So something like nuts, seeds will help. So again, you notice these things in your body, and thereby you will be able to deal with the past. Again, like I said, it's also in the mind. We keep obsessing over it. Pitta, I mean, not just pitta people, even vata people, anyone who's probably fasting or who has these qualms about fasting will have these thoughts. And it's all right. You don't have to go through the full stretch the entire time. Start small. Say, okay, maybe I'll fast for 4 hours, or maybe I'll fast for 6 hours. Start small, and then once you start feeling that I can do this, it automatically pushes you to want to do more.
We have a question on what about water fasting? Could you shed some light on it?
Sure. So basically, water fasting is when all you do is just have water throughout the time of your fast. So what works over here is that, again, with the mind, many times, you just want something in your stomach. So slowly having some warm water often in spaces will help in detoxifying the body. Whatever toxins are stuck in the digestive system start to come out. The acid, whatever, when your body is more acidic, it starts to turn more alkaline. So this is obviously the tougher of all the fasts. Obviously the toughest is not having anything. I think water is like second to that. So when you're on a water fast, what happens is your body is still hydrated. You have some warm water going on, sip by sip, a little bit, and whenever you feel necessary. And that's about it. When you feel like I really need to eat something solid, you go ahead and eat something solid. Is that does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think we've got more questions. By fasting for 15 plus hours, will there be a benefit? That is eating by 7 p.m. and breakfast by 10 a.m. And there's another one. I think that one is related to what we were talking earlier. So suppose we drink coffee or milk with jaggery instead of water. Is this fine?
Okay, I'll go with the first question. See, again, when you're eating by 7 p.m. and having breakfast by 10 a.m., you need to see what your body is doing in between, because you're just sleeping. And I get it, that is the nighttime, that is the right to sleep. But see, after you eat, when you're just lying down on the bed, your body is doing its normal repair work during the night. But when you're fasting, and this is during the day, your body is going through its daily, there's something called a biorhythm. Your body has to do, so your organs do different things during different times of the day. So during the night, a lot of organs like the liver, spleen, etc., they go through their detox mode, which is very normal. So what when you're fasting during the day, they are cleansing themselves. How do I put it? Whatever, it's like, okay, when I have some food in a bowl and I need to finish it, I eat a little bit. There's always some particles left. So when you're fasting, what happens is those small particles also go. So that's why it's important to do this during the day. Right. I understand when you say fasting during the night, like say 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. I'm not saying it's bad or it won't do anything. It'll definitely have maybe some benefit. But if you really want to fast and experience the benefits of the fast, the best time is to do it during the day, because that's when your body is really working to get better and not going through what it normally goes through. All right.
And the next question, suppose we drink coffee or milk. So I would also like to ask that is it only
And
coffee or tea for
cough advice. Yeah, again, milk with jaggery is okay, very little, and warm milk, of course. But coffee is not really something you're supposed to be having during your fast. It makes your body acidic. It drains you of minerals, and definitely um, goes is not going to help. I mean, the point of the fasting itself is not there when you have coffee or tea. So
so in
please don't have coffee when you fast.
tea during fasting, right? Preferably no tea, coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some more questions from YouTube.
Yes.
Is it recommended to go on fast during your menstrual cycles?
Okay. Um, for women, everyone has different kinds of menstrual cycles. For some women, the bleeding is very less. For some women, it's a lot. Some women get tired very fast. And it's honestly, if we go through biology, it is a detoxing time for the woman, right? Where her body is on its own cleansing itself, right? So, uh, I would definitely, anyways, during detoxing time, you are supposed to be having light food, fresh food, so that it doesn't put a load on your body. So if you really feel like fasting, you can, but I would say maybe don't push it. Again, if your body is feeling tired, feeling dizzy, listen to it and have something, right? That's You can fast. No, I'm not saying no, don't do it, but listen to your body as well. You're welcome, uncle.
We have another question from my YouTube viewers. Bhaskar is asking, is it advisable to do exercise or do pranayama during fasting? And is fasting good for Vata Pitta body type?
You can definitely do exercise and pranayama during fasting, just not excessively. Like I had mentioned before, doing excessive, a lot of cardio, things that are um, going to be really making you sweat, making where you're really burning your carbs and making your body go into there's something called where it starts producing lactic acid because it's not using oxygen. You don't want to push it to that side, so doing it as you see fit, how much of a physical activity uh, until the part where you don't get too tired is good for your body, because you need to maintain your energy till you break your fast. So obviously doing a little bit is good. You need to do physical activity, just not too much. And pranayam, definitely anyone can do pranayam and should do pranayam. Oh, the vata pitta body, right? uh,
Vata Pitta.
um, Definitely can do fasting, definitely can do exercise. um, just notice your body. Definitely, I think the main takeaway from this session is to be aware of what your body is telling you. You know.
I think that's it. I'll just check. Yeah, we are done with the YouTube questions also. Over here, if anyone has any other questions, you can take them up. Okay, all right. I think thank you so much, Dr. Amrita, for shedding some light on this. So it's, I think, one of the lot of takeaways from this session for everyone as well. And thank you all also
Thank
for
you so much for having me.
it was a pleasure. Honestly, been a pleasure, to have each week, some expert sharing some light on all these things. So you guys also can share your experiences in the chat as well. Before that, shall we take a group picture? I think some of them have left because it's 5. But shall we turn our videos on to take a photo? can all, I'll just give a moment to turn the videos on. Deepa. Okay, some names I do not know how to pronounce. Kajal, Vijay Bhaskar, Amrita, Pratibha. We'll just quickly come on for a moment and we'll take a group picture. You can smile. Okay. Thank you for joining. Next week also we'll be having a session with Dr. Surya. So that one is going to be a really informative, session on how disease manifests in the body and how what we can do to avoid that, how we get sick. So that's something that I think we all of us should kind of know what path not to take as well. And in case if you have any ailments, how to understand your body as well. Totally. We'll see you 4 to 5 next Sunday. So have a good day. May you stay fit and calm.